In 2006, Parliament revised and amended the Election Amendment Bill 2006 in line with recommendations contained in Article 78, Section 2 of the Constitution of Uganda. This saw the creation of special interest groups in Parliament. These included the Uganda People's Defence Forces, people with disabilities, workers and youth representatives in a move that was aimed at balancing representation in Parliament. Since then, there has been tremendous representation of special interest groups, especially the youth, who had no voice despite forming the biggest part of the country's population. In 2016, Mwine Mpaka was elected the Western Youth Member of Parliament, replacing Honorable Gerard Karuhanga.
So many forces have been fighting me, from MPs to RDCs, but I want to thank my party for helping me the best way it could, and I want to thank the people of Western Uganda for entrusting me with this opportunity to represent them in Parliament.
He became the first legislator to be sworn in alongside his father, retired Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Bright Ramirama, the State Defense and Veteran Affairs Minister, who also doubles as the Isinjiro County North Member of Parliament. In 2016, the Western Youth MP joined the over 433 representatives in Parliament. He immediately embarked on fighting for the rights of the young people. His 2.5 years in Parliament have so far yielded results.
It has been successful. We have moved several legislations, bills and motions on the floor of Parliament, and so far in the 2.5 years we have been here, I think we have done better than any other youth MP.
With the youth across the country facing several challenges, a number of interventions in terms of legislation have been undertaken. The legislator, along with other youth MPs, took time off to analyze the plight of unemployment among the youth and devise several pieces of legislators that, if passed into law, will go a long way in improving the lives of the young people.
We have had several motions, but the most important bill we have passed, which is at the committee stage, is the graduate scheme bill, where we intend to have every graduate employed and paid a stipend allowance for a period of 1 year. It is now in the committee stage, and I am also seated in the same committee where it has gone, so we hope to expedite it to come back to the floor of Parliament before 30 days elapse and it is passed.
Today, 78% of Uganda's population is composed of the youth, mainly below 30 years. A 2014 housing and population census shows that Uganda has a median age of 15 years, thus posing planning and employment challenges.
There's a growing mismatch between the labor demand and labor supply. For example, according to the tertiary institutions and universities we have in Uganda, we release about 400,000 graduates every year. And according to the Uganda Investment Authority, we can only employ less than half. So on a conservative estimation, we can only employ about 150,000 young people per year. Again, according to the statistics in newspapers, we have only about 12,000 jobs advertised every year. So this is a clear indication that there is a growing mismatch between the labor demand and labor supply. Also, according to the Uganda Registry Service Bureau, Uganda has registered about 500,000 businesses that are active, dying and are dead. We also have statistics showing that according to the Uganda Business Census Bureau, 90% of the businesses have less than 4 employees. For Uganda to attain middle income status by 2020, we must grow at a percentage of about 10. But currently, for the last 5 years, we've been growing at about 4.5.
Their plight, however, is worsened by limited access to cheap and affordable financing.
It was giving short-term loans, and on top of that, it was giving loans of about 5 million shillings. Now they have had a review, and their interest rates are now about 11%. But that is not enough, because whether you like it or not, these funds are going to be channeled through a commercial bank. And for this commercial bank to survive, it must make profit. So even the livelihood fund is going through commercial banks. It is having a few challenges here and there, but so far this has been the most successful program. But it needs to go through a bank like this, a youth development bank, because these young people are charged a lot of money to open accounts per month, withdrawals, etc. So we are losing a lot of money as a young generation if we channel our programs through commercial banks.
But amidst these challenges, government has undertaken several initiatives to mitigate the issues at hand, starting with the Youth Livelihood Program under the Ministry of Gender, Information and ICT Fund under the Ministry of ICT, Students' Loan Fund and the Capital Venture Fund. But this was after developing a concept paper under their Uganda Youth Parliamentary Forum on Youth Affairs, quoting figures which indicated that more than 700,000 graduates entered the job market annually, with only 12,000 jobs advertised in the formal sector. This leaves the vast majority of graduates, who are mostly youth, facing a bleak future. But even these programs are too scattered to address the problem.
Success and human security in the future for Uganda will depend largely on the young people. So are the 2030 Sustainable Goals. According to the 2014 National Population and Housing Census, Uganda is classified as averagely a young population with a median age at 15 years. While the official statistics for the unemployed youth remain ambiguous, there is a growing mismatch between the labor supply and the labor demand. It is estimated that there are over 700,000 entrants, comparing unfavorably to the formal sector advertised jobs, which are about 12,000. The new entrants in the job market are arguably and dominantly youth, and with the current population growth, the unemployment will become more pronounced in the near future. The demand side is small and also constrained in creation of jobs. The Uganda Registry Service Bureau has a register of 500,000 businesses active, dying, and dead. According to the last business census by Uganda Bureau of Statistics, more than 90% of the businesses had less than 4 employees. The problem is that the bulk of the unemployed are the youth, and principally the unemployed resources in a country discount growth and development objectives. This adds already to the burdened working population, with the age dependency ratio at 103. Sustainable development opportunities lie in the inexhaustible potential of the youth as wheels for this country's present and future economic growth and development. Substantial existing evidence supports the youth-led development and underscores the relevance of the youth development funds. The government of Uganda has undertaken a spate of employment-oriented and entrepreneur interventions geared towards providing the youth with financial resources to encourage productivity. These are based on the pillars of enterprise development, job creation, business skills training, and development. Some of these include the Youth Venture Capital Fund, the Youth Livelihood Program, Agriculture Credit Facility, and through broad initiatives like the Operation Wealth Creation. A recent evaluation of the Youth Livelihood Program, however, revealed that the program has received...
Honorable, how will this motion help you?
Yes, I'm coming to that.
Please, that's what we need. That's what we need.
Yes, I'm coming to that, right, Honorable Speaker. The financial sector and the youth enterprise is state of play currently.
With the Youth Livelihood Program, government hopes that unemployment levels would go down. But the rampant corruption in ministries and local governments remain a key impediment, making it difficult for the vulnerable groups to benefit and more so making access to credit difficult. These efforts have, however, been hamstrung by the high rates of loan defaulting and political interference, which have coupled to undermine the intended goals of the program.
With the Youth Livelihood Program, the challenge it has, it is a means of financing the youth, but there's a lot of corruption involved in the Youth Livelihood Program. We have the CDOs, the chairmen at the sub-counties taking bribes from these young people. So the actual money they are told to pay is not the actual money they are receiving. So much as it is access to financing, it has a lot of challenges. We were supposed to do a review of this program, but unfortunately the permanent secretary carried out a review with RDCs and town clerks instead of youth leaders who know the actual problems they are facing in the field.
It's against this that he raised concern about the need to amend the Uganda Development Bank Act to allow the bank manage youth funds.
Basically, there are three main reasons we wish to amend the Development Bank Act. One is to combine all the various youth programs and their current financing into one repository. Two is they need to include in the Youth Act provisions that refer specifically to the youth and youth development activities, so as to incorporate them in the national development agenda. And lastly, we are looking at concentrating on development financing as opposed to commercialized financing.
I put the question, that motion, that the question be put. Will those in favor say aye? To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. I'll now put the question to the motion that the Honorable Mpaka Mwine, MP for Youth Western, be granted leave by this House, leave of this House to present a private member's bill entitled the Uganda Development Bank Amendment Bill 2018. Will those in favor say to the contrary? No. Aye. The ayes have it. Honorable members, we have granted the member leave. That means the law requires that the government and all institutions that relate to development of laws should support the honorable member up to the introduction of the bill for first reading in this House. Congratulations, Honorable. Next item.
A major advocate for youth financing, Mpaka suggests that only a youth development bank can ease access to cheap and affordable credit.
If we can have all these programs under the Youth Development Bank, for example, the ministry can come up with the livelihood fund, but it is taken to the Youth Development Bank. One, this bank can attract foreign investors, just like the Uganda Development Bank did with the European Development Bank, with the Arab Development Bank. We can get foreign financiers who can give us money at about 3%. But if you do our Ugandan monetary policy, this 3% would go to about 7%, and 7% would be fair compared to the current 11% under the Joint Capital Venture Fund and the about 23% under the commercial banks.
Failure to access cheap credit has seen millions of young people become a major target of Ponzi or pyramid schemes that exploit the youth. And when cryptocurrency technology set foot in Uganda, hundreds of the youth fell victims. This prompted MP Mpaka to intervene, raising a red flag on the Ponzi schemes that many describe as fraudulent investment scams that promise high returns on investment. The argument is that companies involved have swindled billions of shillings from the youth in countries where they have operated before.
And Rwanda in particular has banned the Ponzi or pyramid schemes. Now therefore being resolved by Parliament that number one, government freezes bank accounts of the schemes and of the individuals operating the schemes and compensate all the victims. Two, government bans and closes all Ponzi or pyramid schemes in Uganda. Three, government sensitizes the public about the Ponzi or pyramid schemes and the dangers of investing in such schemes. Four, government sensitizes the public about the investment opportunities offered by licensed investment firms in Uganda. I beg to move.
In June 2017, they froze the accounts of one smart protest who was chief promoter of D9 Club, and this $2 million US, we do not know where this money is. We do not know if the Ministry of Finance actually fixed this money. We do not know if it went to the consolidated fund, because this money was meant to go back to the people who lost their hard-earned money, but up to now they have never been compensated. We also have a list of key people who have been operating various pyramid schemes, and they just keep changing the names. One is Serwanji Tadeo. He was operating D9 with Smart Protas. He again changed to BitPesa. He again changed to Quastra World. Another is Chimbugwe Paul. He was in Global Finance. He went to AdFast. When it closed, he went to Amazon. Ariho Dixon, he was in Global Finance. He went to Excel Wealth Corps as well. So these are the same people. They just keep changing new names of different schemes.
And tactics.
And these people should be charged under the Electronic Fraud Section 19 Computer Misuse Act and obtaining money by false pretense, Section 305 Penal Code Act. Otherwise, so many young people in this country are falling victim of these pyramid schemes, and we hope the government can help us and actually take action finally, because it is 7 months now, nothing has been done. We keep hearing these companies have godfathers and people, big people in government, but we are giving the Ministry of Finance a chance to take action, so that next week in the action taken report, when the Prime Minister is supposed to present it, we know this resolution has actually been respected and government is protecting Uganda.
Mpaka, who is the chairperson of the Uganda Youth Parliamentary Forum, is on the National Resistance Movement ticket, but during his term, he has been seen more as an independent legislator and a national youth leader.
I'm seen as a national youth MP mainly because I've been the chairperson of the Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Youth Affairs, and this forum, it represents the youth in the whole country. So this is why at times I'm involved in issues to do with northern Uganda, issues to do with central or eastern Uganda. It is because of the position I hold as a chairperson of the Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Youth Affairs.
During the amendment of the mobile money tax, it was resolved that NRM legislators would support the party position on the bill. But Mpaka amused fellow MPs when he disagreed with the party position to put the youth first.
Honorable Mwine Mpaka.
I vote yes.
Honorable Mwine Paul. Honorable Paul Mwine.
I vote yes.
Honorable Mugeni Mili.
I vote no.
But this is a decision he does not regret.
It is very rare for a member to disagree or to agree to disagree with his political party. But in some cases where the issue affects especially the constituency that person represents, for example, with me, the mobile money tax had affected the mobile money agents who are 80% youth. And according to the Mobile Money Agents Association, before this bill was passed, we had over 90,000 registered mobile money agents who are active. After we passed this bill in July, we had about 27,000 who are left active. So it was going to cause a lot of unemployment. As a youth MP, I had to agree to disagree with my party.
He was of a greater help to us. He didn't only look at only one region because we're all countrywide. All districts in the country were affected, but he was a greater help that he didn't even consider of which region we're from. He was of great help to us because he was willing to fight with us in every step that we're into. And up to the end, he managed to see that we're all compensated, though we didn't meet the expectation of in reference to the petition that we wanted 6 months, though these people gave us 1 month. But all in all, since the start of the fight to the end, he was with us. And he said in case we're not contented and we want to take another step, he will be of help if he's called upon or where necessary.
Besides, he has raised several matters of national importance, especially cybercrime and cloning of SIM cards.
I believe a SIM card could be cloned. 2 days ago, right, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, my SIM card was also cloned. My SIM card was active, I was using it, but I could not call and neither could I receive phone calls. In the meantime, someone was using my SIM card to send messages to everyone I know, asking them for money, 980,000 shillings, and people have lost money, a lot of money. Now, we registered our SIM cards last year, and we believe a SIM card belongs to one person. But, to our surprise, we managed to meet the director of UCC, Mr. Mutabazi, and he told us that the equipment they have in their ministry is not even at the level of the equipment the telecommunication companies have. This is MTN and Airtel and so on, which means they do not even have the capacity not only to regulate these telecommunication companies, but also to safeguard Ugandans from cybercrime. As soon as I arrived in the country yesterday, right, honorable members, I reported this case to police, and I also went to MTN to report this case. On restoring my SIM card and my WhatsApp, I found myself on cabinet WhatsApp groups. I have never been a cabinet member. My profile picture had changed to using the profile picture of the Minister Chibanzanga. So, I raise on a matter of national importance, right, Honorable Speaker, this cybercrime is very dangerous. Can the ministry come up with a statement explaining to the Ugandans on the safety, because we are using these SIM cards not only for mobile money, but also for mobile banking? Can the minister come up with a statement? If they do not have money to buy equipment, Can the Minister of Finance provide equipment to protect Ugandans from this cybercrime? Thank you very much.
This is in addition to addressing the plight of farmers who are being exploited as companies in the beverage industry choose to import raw materials.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members. I raise on a matter of national importance in reference to an article that was published yesterday in the Daily Monitor, where 200 model farmers in Kaliro district who acquired citrus fruits and mangoes under operational creation have failed to find market for their produce. They go ahead and demonstrate that a sack of 90 kilograms of oranges and mangoes is now being sold at 30,000 shillings. Now, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, this Parliament has allocated money to NADS, specifically 17 billion this financial year for agro inputs and seedlings in the country. However, we still have companies like Mwine, Britannia, Coca-Cola, through Minute, and Allied Industries Limited that is producing Splash, that are importing concentrates from Kenya and the United Kingdom. Now, if these factories and companies are allowed to import concentrates, it means we are not going to buy the fruits from our local farmers. Therefore, I would request this Parliament to urge or to call upon the ministry responsible to ban or regulate the importation of concentrates so that our farmers can get market for their produce. Thank you very much.
Mpaka has in addition advocated for improvement in the youth livelihood funds in addition to pushing government to improve the working conditions of the young people.
I've advocated for increment in the youth livelihood fund allocation. The Capital Venture Fund has been revived. I lobbied for over 32 haifas to go to each district. These haifas were going to the youth. So many other motions were moved in Parliament. So I think I have tried my best. We have tried to crack down on the labor export industry. We have closed a few companies that have been illegally exporting our young boys and girls. We are pushing government to sign bilateral agreements with these different countries so that our young boys and girls who travel to get jobs treated with respect and are not harassed using the labor laws they find in those countries. So at one point we went to Dubai with the Foreign Affairs Committee. We're about 8 members of Parliament, and we visited our embassy in Abu Dhabi. But what we found in Abu Dhabi was really very alarming. By then the ambassador was Madivani. There was a lady called Madivani, and she gave us a report of 48 Ugandans who had died in just a period of 8 months. And of these 48 Ugandans, 35 had committed suicide. And she further told us that some were actually buried in the desert because they did not know who had brought them. I think those had been trafficked. But some had been brought back home to Uganda. But we also discovered that even our embassy in Abu Dhabi does not have the capacity to handle these situations. One, we do not have a rescue home. These girls go to the veranda of the embassy to seek for help from the officials in the embassy. There is no money, there is no budget for these girls within the embassy to handle these situations. And exporting labor to countries where we don't have bilateral agreements. When these Ugandans are found committing an offense or found in any situation, they find themselves under the labor laws in those countries. So, for example, if a Ugandan is accused of stealing, if the labor law in that country states this and that, that is what is going to be used. So we discourage. And actually, as members of Parliament of the Uganda Parliamentary Forum, we're coming up with a motion to ban export of labor to any country that does not have a bilateral agreement. 2, we want government to also ban exportation of labor to all countries without embassies and well-equipped embassies to manage these situations. But in the long run, I think what is happening now, what you're seeing on TV, domestic workers, exportation of domestic workers. And as a country, we cannot do without labor export. This is a fact. Because of the high population, because of the levels of unemployment. But specific sectors like domestic workers are the ones causing a lot of challenges. And this is why we have a lot of media attention currently. Because one, a domestic worker, for example, when we went to Dubai, when you give a girl to someone to work in his or her own house, you cannot access this girl after 3 months. This girl becomes...
Till after 3 months?
After 3 months, this girl becomes property of that person because they will not allow you to enter. These girls do not have access to banks. They do not have access to mobile phones. They do not have access to health care at times. So I think the discussion now should be, should we risk the whole industry because of one sector, which is domestic work? We have seen countries like Nepal in 2014 banning totally the exportation of domestic work. We have seen countries like Philippines that has now banned domestic work to Kuwait just because one Ugandan, one Filipino was sexually abused and murdered. Just one. But we have seen cases in Uganda, so many are coming, but we're doing nothing about it.
But today's youth, according to Mwine Mpaka, need more than just financing.
I think today's youth need access to cheap financing. We already have like the youth livelihood, the capital venture, but they're not giving cheap financing. And on top of that, we need development financing as opposed to commercialized financing. Because the youth need guidance in whatever project they are going to do. We have had issues with the Youth Livelihood Fund where it is giving money to artificial groups instead of natural groups. By artificial groups, I mean groups just form up because the money is there. These are not groups that have been doing business together for some time, so it is hard for these groups to survive. But the major challenge is access to cheap and development financing.
Someone working in a hotel in Kasese and someone working in Kampala, the customer base is not the same. If you impose such a minimum wage, you're going to collapse the businesses up country. However, the federal minimum wage, where you find a city like Kampala, has a different minimum wage from a district like Kasese, is very good. It has been tried in China. There are cities like Shanghai, where the minimum wage is very high, because their per capita and their economic growth is very high. Now, in those areas like Kasese, like Bundibujo, like Mbarara, it is low. Now, how it has helped, it has pushed the labor-intensive factories in China, those making toys, those making shoes, back to the villages because they are looking for cheap labor. And it has created employment. At the same time, it has not suffocated the other businesses up country. So we still have an issue with the minimum wage. I am on the gender committee where we're going to discuss this minimum wage, and I hope to oppose the current minimum wage bill and try to see that ours. I don't know what you think about my idea, but that is my idea as an individual.
Since then, he has attracted a lot of media attention. This landed him an appointment on a committee that was selected by Parliament to investigate reports of sex harassment in institutions of learning. This was yet another opportunity for him to understand the challenges faced by the young people.
Yes, we have discovered there's a very big weakness in our law. Most times the parents are bribed. There is a case where we discovered the father was given 10 million shillings and even the police were given money. But it only came to be exposed after the father refused to share with the share with the mother money, sorry. So we have discovered there's a weakness in the law, but most important of all, the parents are also at times the causes of the rampant cases of sexual violence because they always silence them by denying these children a right to participate as witnesses in the courts of law. We have further discovered that also poverty could be one of the main reasons because these students are not given enough requirements. So when they come to these schools, they end up asking for money to buy a few requirements in order to survive. We have also discovered most schools do not have policies to handle cases of sexual violence and sexual harassment. It is whoever is in charge, probably the headmaster or the director.
Rise on a matter of national importance concerning girl child prostitution in Western Uganda, specifically in Mbarara, as quoted by today's Daily Monitor. Honorable members and Right Honorable Speaker, you are aware that prostitution is an illegality according to the Penal Code Act, Article 136. We now have women nicknamed aunties in Mbarara who are owning between 10 to 20 young girls. And they are selling these young girls through bar owners and lodge owners at 50,000 shillings within Mbarara and 100,000 shillings outside Mbarara. Can the Minister of Internal Affairs and Ministry of Gender come up with an action plan to curb this vice as soon as possible before it spreads to other parts of the country and report back to this House?
Can the Minister for Internal Affairs report to us as soon as we commence about allegations of child prostitution and the people who own them? And then also to check what they call Sure, which is also on Facebook, really targeting customers for children.
The sale and distribution of sachet waraji was yet another concern that he found until government acted to save the young people, many of who had become victims of the sachets.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I raise on a point of matter importance concerning the distribution, sale and consumption of sachet waraji. On 27th of April 2019, one Megade Patrick, a resident of Chwatule, went partially blind because of consuming sachet waraji. The minister in 2017 September extended the ban on sachet waraji to 30th March 2019. She further informed us that by 31st of May, there would be no more sale, distribution, and consumption of this sachet waraji. Currently, sachet waraji is still being distributed, is still being sold and consumed. Can the Minister of Trade come up with a statement on government's readiness to implement this ban to the effect that by 1st of June 2019, there will be no more distribution, sale, and consumption of this sachet waraji? Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker, indeed we shall pass on that information so that the Minister comes with a statement. But Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, apart from banning the sachet waraji, there is local content gene, toxic, that is finishing our people. Like in some of our areas, there is a toxic gene called Mjakure. Mjakure means grab him or her. Now you drink it, it grabs you, and it takes you to the coffin. There's some other toxic gene which is around, and it is complete. It is not in a sachet, and it is called rest in peace. In our country, I'm saying it's not bottled, it's not in a sachet, but it's doing the rounds. Rest in peace. You drink it, indeed you rest in peace with the coffin next to you. So even as we are fighting this sachet waraji, let us know that within our communities, we have these toxic drinks which they shouldn't be touching, and it is incumbent upon all of us to inform the law enforcing officers. I thank you.
The minister told us by 30th March they would stop producing sachet waraji, and by 31st May it would be totally phased out of the market. But it has come to our surprise that we have several brands of gin or waraji that are still being supplied in large quantities. Royal Gin, Empire Waraji, Chief Waraji, Afande Waraji, Gorilla Waraji, and so much more. Salt Waraji. We have seen, it seems these factories either produced in large quantities and stored in their warehouses, or they are still producing these Saket Waraji at night. These small packages of alcohol in Sakets have become an avenue for recruiting young people into drinking Waraji. According to the World Health Organization, Uganda was ranked the #1 consumer of alcohol with a per capita consumption of 19.47 liters per Ugandan. And we know that Uganda has the largest or the youngest population of Uganda is considered youth, which means actually the young people are consuming this alcohol the most. This alcohol in Sakets has been discovered to have chemicals like lead, arsenic, copper, and chromium, which is very dangerous to Ugandans. So we are urging the ministry and the UNBS that by 1st June they should start seizing all alcohol found in these shops, any shop selling alcohol in Sakets. Otherwise, we know these factories are still producing alcohol in Sakets, and it's still being distributed in large quantities in Chikubo and several other places.
Senyonjo akozesebwa mu kuyimba ate ng'omwana tanaweza emyaka 18 teyeesalirawo tagulawo kampani tabeera na bisaanyizo era nga tusaba nti abo bonna bakikola bakikomye mbagirawo kubanga tugenda bagulako emisango.
The Fresh Kids saga is yet another of a young man whose career he fought for following pressure from the line minister.
Actually, Fresh Kid has no problem. The problem is with the minister, who cannot recognize that we need to promote and identify talents from the childhood. How many graduates do we have on this planet? And they are put to waste.
So we believe that Fresh Kid is a good example to the young generation to harness their talent, and so he should not be discouraged. His talent should not be destroyed in favor of education, and yet they can both coexist.
So we would request the minister to concentrate, because she's a representative in the cabinet, to concentrate on lobbying for our young people, resources in the cabinet, in the budget allocation. We need more money to develop such young talent like Fresh Kids talent. We would also like to inform the minister that she should also help us. We are tired of bringing private members' bills. She's a representative in cabinet. She should be able to lobby for resources to help our young people in the music and entertainment industry.
Today, Mwine Mpaka is not only a politician but also a soccer fanatic. Besides parliamentary business, he runs Mbarara Football Club that is currently playing in the Uganda Premier League.
Well, a football club is a lot of work, but just like a school, if you have a good management, you don't need to be there full time. So I want to thank my management, and also it has a very good fan base that often contributes also in the running of this club. So I do not need to be in Mbarara to run the football club at all times.
Soccer fans in Mbarara believe the youthful legislator is making an impact on the lives of the young people who need an inspiration.
At least if you can see to how Mbarara FC is performing and how the management and the leader and board governors of Mbarara FC, we really see that youth leadership is actually doing the great job. Because once those people participate or engage themselves in football clubs, playing football, some, if they want to start some bad habits like drinking alcohol, like, doing some different things, if one goes there, plays, come tired, sleeping, at least you see youth leadership is doing some good job and is improving on youth today. Like, if I can give you an example, like Mwine Mpaka, who is our Western MP. This person, this man, this gentleman, he's He's a good leader actually, because once you make appointment with him, like when I'm in Mpaka, I want to meet you in Parliament, I have some issues to sort out. He's a reliable leader, sincerely. He can't deny you, or he can't let you down. You can just go there, reach him, talk to him, and clearly he listens to your issues. And if you need help, and if you need what, Mpaka has been doing that. I myself has ever helped me.
I don't know how I can say Mpaka, because the name Mpaka, it is a serious name. Mpaka brought this team, Mbarara City FC, and everybody, every life of every Western region. It brings us joy, happiness, as you can see. Everybody here is happy just because of this team, Mbarara City. For us, we spent a lot of time supporting Bungereza's team, Simanyi Manchester United, Simanyi Sankwezi, so I don't know who, there's someone called the Wine Rooney, we supported Simanyi Rakuzeti, and many players. But at this time, we have our boys here, these are some boys, their names, some of them, they're called Kanyankore, Simanyi Makwezi, Simanyi Muchurezi, as you can hear.
Thank Honorable Mwine Mpaka, because he's the kind of a person that is trying at least to pull up football in Mbarara.
Fans in Mbarara are very happy. In Mbarara now there is a big number of football fans because of the performance of Mbarara City, most especially this season. The club struggled last season, but the way it was struggling, people were following it. Now the club is performing, people have come up to support the club seriously. And you see now, we managed to make Acheka full, the stadium becomes full, even the perimeter fence outside, people do cover the perimeter fence to the full, to the maximum. So I think the number of people coming to support Mbarara City nowadays, or here in Mbarara or in Western Uganda, it is now big, and people are happy with their team because it is performing.
Ate sanyu nyingi nyo, sanyu lingi nyo. Ate tisoka kusima Honorable Mpaka MP wa feka tuwe shitibwa agenda kuba MP wambala municipality ndawo ni mwamba no kumwambala. Era tumwitse buryo masanyu saba abantu bagulabyo balabye badde bangi nyo era sanyu lyamanyi nyo.
Mpaka saw what was missing in Mbarara, and this is exactly what was missing in Mbarara. Because people could follow KCCA, could follow Express, could follow Cranes. When Cranes is playing, you could see the tension of people in Mbarara. And I think Mpaka did something good because I saw what was missing in the people of Mbarara. That's why you see a big crowd is here behind Mbarara City Football Club.
He feels the youth need to position themselves if they are to improve their living conditions.
Government does not have enough money to give everyone in this country, but however little it may be, you need to position yourself to get that little. Because if you remain wherever you are and you are criticizing all the time, you will never benefit. So position yourself. If you know there's money coming this kind of way, look for the right people responsible and ensure that you position yourself to receive this money. If they need certain requirements, make sure you get these requirements before this money is sent. So I think the young people should position themselves. There will never be enough resources given by government for everyone in this country.
Today's youth can only do one thing to succeed.
We do not have enough jobs in this country, and according to the Uganda Investment Authority, they say we have over 400,000 graduates released on the job market every year, but our investments in the country can only employ less than half, which means this is 150,000. So I'm calling upon the youth to be creative. When you are in the universities, please get to know more people, because it is no longer who you know, but it's no longer what you know, but who you know in this country.
A section of legislators feel Mwine Mpaka is a credible and trusted leader.
Why can't they give him to be a minister for the youth and be an example? Because if we're youth and you have your own caliber, you have your own kind of aspirations, and you stand for them, and your colleagues do trust you, why should you change? I think even if he becomes a minister, I can even support him, even if I don't subscribe to his political party.
I happen to have come from the background of leading the youth in my district, But when it comes to assessing Honorable Mwine Mpaka, I think he's really done well. Unfortunately, Mwine Mpaka could be crossing the edge that is acceptable to represent the youth. But I think he could also be looking around for a constituency which he can represent. But I think at this one, I want to talk about this one. I don't know what his future aspects, his future prospects are. I am only looking at the present. I think he has done well.
He was quite active during the anti-mobile money amendment bill in support of business for the youth. And the tax was, I had him submit to the effect that the tax was anti-young people. But my general view is that these young men, him and many others, have not been given a chance to be themselves, to come out and express themselves and be the kind of legislator who should have been. But in the circumstances, in the legislative environment that is this 10th Parliament, I would score him as tried.
Seen him visit different constituencies and really articulating the issues of the youth. He came in to support the majority youth who are in business when we were tackling the law on mobile money taxes, and we were happy with his submissions. I've seen him in various constituencies contributing enormously, by the way, to sports activities. These aimed at, developing talents from the youth who can actually excel and become international players in various fields. So that is very good. I think he has performed well so far. Although I don't agree with him on some political issues, policies and whatever, but he has executed his mandate as a youth member of parliament well.
So when you look at the laws of recent, he was one of the team members looking at the sexual violence in universities. So he's a vibrant member of parliament, and for me, I wish him well, wherever he will go, or even after parliament. He's an educated man. He can, he's exceptionally very well. And even in NRM, he performs very well as a member of the caucus.
But as the youthful legislator concentrates on serving the youth, political speculators in Mbarara claim that Mpaka plans to oust Mbarara municipality incumbent Michael Tumusime in 2021. But this remains mere speculations.
Now my main role is to serve as a youth MP, which I think I am trying to do in the best way possible, but with time, hopefully if they want me to represent them in another capacity, I would be willing to take up the position.
Honorable Mwine Mpaka attended Lohana Primary School and joined Vienna College Namgongo, where he completed his O-level in 2003 before joining Green Hill Academy for his A-level in 2005. He graduated from Uganda Matters University Mukono with Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology, and he is currently pursuing a master's degree. He has since then completed a master's degree in international business at Alaska University in France, and he is again pursuing a diploma in financial management.